What's up, y'all? It's your boy King Hendrix. Before we get started, let me say something. I'm not here to gossip. I'm not here to throw shade or dirt on anybody's name. I don't care about any of that. What you're going to get from me is non-biased information. Only thing that we're going to deal with is the facts. That's it. The facts. Now we're going to talk about this Diddy situation. But before we go into that, let me give you a little bit of background about myself. I was a journalist for the largest prison newspaper in the United States, The Echo. Distributed to over 120,000 members. I shouldn't call them members. 120,000 damn inmates. They ain't members. One thing that I learned from working with them is that you can't be biased in that type of environment. And I'm taking that out here. I brought that out here with me. Not being biased, right? So I'm not going to tell you, did he do it or did he not? Did he do it or did he not? Right? I'm not going to do that. We're just going to give you the facts. On July 2nd, 2025, Diddy was found guilty on 2 federal charges for transporting women for prostitution. One of those charges involved his ex, Cassie Ventura. But here's where it gets heavy. He was facing 5 charges total. The ones he beat, the ones he walked away from, were the big ones. Racketeering, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Those could have put him in a cell for life. Instead, he's now looking at a max of 20 years, which, if you ask me, is still a serious sentence. What sealed the case, according to most analysts, was the testimony of Cassie Ventura. I know you guys been seeing it all over the news. Her testimony had to have been impactful. She spoke on how Combs allegedly controlled her life for 11 years, how he isolated her, manipulated her, and forced her into acts she didn't consent to. Combs and his team say that ain't true. They saying it's a lie. They've held from day one that evening was consensual. They've already said they're going to appeal the verdict. But here's the breakdown. Racketeering conspiracy. Life sentence on the table. The Fed said Combs used his business network to run a criminal enterprise. Sex trafficking, bribery, obstruction, even arson and kidnapping. But the jury didn't find enough to stick that one. Not guilty. Sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion. 2 counts. Both could have led to life. Minimum 15 years if convicted. Not guilty. Now, the one for transportation to engage in prostitution, that's where they got him. 2 counts, up to 10 years each. Boom! Slams the gavel. Guilty. Now, let's talk about this for a second. 2 counts, it says. Up to 10 years each. Let me tell you how that works. Now, the Echo prison newspaper was right next door to the prison law library. So I spent a considerable amount of time in there talking to the guys, kind of helping some of the guys get some information situated. So let's talk about this. Up to 10 years each. So you have something called a stacked sentence, and then you have something called concurrent. So if they run it concurrent and he's given the max of 10 years, then this is how that looks. He gets 10 years for both, which is 20 years, but they run it concurrent, so he's only going to do 10 years. If they stack it, then that 10 years quickly becomes a 20 piece. And we ain't talking about a bucket of fried chicken. Now look, I'm not here to say he's innocent or guilty. That ain't my lane. But what I will say is this. If you're climbing, you better stay on point. Because the higher you go, the slipperier the slope. Them steps get real slippery, man. And whether you're Diddy or just trying to get your life back on track, the climb don't care who you are. The climb tests character. It exposes shortcuts. But it also rewards truth. This story ain't over, y'all. Sentencing is still coming. Now, as far as the appeal goes, that's a whole nother chapter. Again, I'm King Hendrix, and this is what I do. Bring clarity to chaos. No fanfare, no fluff. Just facts.